The scene opens at a middle school in Massachusetts, where a young stud, Donny Berger, meets his friends. He tells his friends that he's not into girls anymore. Instead, he's fascinated by women. Through the hallway, we see their teacher, Mary McGarkle, who's everyone's crush. Donny asks his teacher to go to a concert with him, but McGarkle says she's his teacher, not his girlfriend. Donny replies, "Don't worry, we'll start things off with just handjobs." So McGarkle gives him a month of detention as punishment. During the detention, Donny apologizes for what he said, but to his surprise, McGarkle starts flirting with him. She comes closer and takes him to her office. Donny's friend is shocked to witness it and suddenly hears orgasmic noises from Donny. From that day, Donny and McGarkle develop an affair. During their school's annual function, a kid is trying to give his speech but hears screaming noises from a woman. The principal tells him to stop and asks a man to pull the curtains. As the curtains open, everyone sees Donny railing out McGarkle on a piano. McGarkle immediately takes a flag as her cover and runs off the stage. Then, everyone starts clapping and Donny comes to the front. He becomes a superstar and everyone cheers for him. In the aftermath of the incident, McGarkle is sentenced to 30 years in prison for statutory rape. But McGarkle turns out to be pregnant with Donny's child, so the judge gives the child's custody to Donny's father until Donny turns 18, after which Donny will assume full custody of the kid. Donny's story gets published in all the newspapers and magazines, and he becomes popular in the entire country. He earns a lot of money by giving interviews and lives the fantasy of every teenager. Now, the scene shifts to the present time, where Donny has spent all his money. His friend informs him that the IRS is putting him into prison for 3 years as he's never paid taxes. Donny thought they were taking it automatically, but it's not the case. Now he has to pay $43,000 to the IRS by the end of the weekend, but Donny only has $20 to his name. His friend advises him to put money on a fat guy who will be running a marathon, and the odds on him are 8,000 to 1. Even though it's a long shot, he puts $20 on it. His friend asks him to take the money from his son, but Donny reveals that he moved out when he turned 18, and he's never seen him since then. Donny's son, Solo Berger, has gotten riches and is about to marry his girlfriend Jamie. He has changed his name to Todd and takes anxiety pills to stay normal. Now, Donny visits his usual strip club and meets his friend Champagne. There, he finds out about his son through a magazine. Solo has named himself Todd Peterson, who is a hedge fund manager, and has told everyone that both his parents died in an explosion. On the other hand, Todd has come to his boss's summer home for their wedding with Jamie's family. His boss is really excited to meet Jamie and her parents. The boss has 2 Chinese servants and asks everyone to abuse them. Then Todd meets the boss's mother, Mrs. Spiro. As they're talking, Jamie's brother Chad arrives there. Everyone is delighted to meet the soldier, but Todd again embarrasses himself in front of everyone. Chad intimidates him and tells him to take good care of his sister, otherwise he'll shoot him with his government-issued revolver. On the other hand, Donny visits Randy Morgan's office to ask for some money. The assistant says Morgan is not there, but Donny meets his old friend Vanilla Ice. However, Vanilla ignores him as Donny banged his mother. Then, Donny meets Morgan and convinces him to film a reunion between him and McGarkle. Morgan agrees, but on the condition that he brings Solo to prison this weekend, so they can shoot a family reunion and title it "Horny Teacher, Baby Makes Good." Now Donny only needs to convince his son, and he'll get $50,000 cash. So Donny reaches the place and meets Jamie. He gives her a very exquisite gift and enters the house. Todd is shocked to see him and lies that Donny is an old best friend. Donny creates a hilarious story that he once saved Todd's life, and they're best friends ever since. Everyone likes Donny immediately, and they tell him to stay here till the wedding. Now, Todd takes Donny to talk in private. Donny says McGarkle is sick in prison, so they have to meet her on Saturday. But Todd says a clear no, as he already told everyone that his parents blew up in an explosion, and he doesn't want to see Donny's face, as he's basically the worst parent ever. He never taught him how to ride a bike, and he pretty much had to raise himself. Their arguments go nowhere, and the guests arrive. Donny impresses everyone at the get-together with his jokes and weird stories. A guy recognizes Donny as the famous kid who banged his teacher, and he becomes the star of the party. Then Todd's friend Phil, who is supposed to be the best man at the wedding, gives a speech. He says that since Todd's best friend Donny is here, he's stepping down and Donny will take over as the best man of the wedding. Donny takes over the mic and convinces everyone to play baseball in the nearby yard. Donny starts hitting and everyone catches the ball except Todd. When Donny hits the ball toward Todd, he gets hit in the face. At night, Jamie shows her wedding dress to Todd. Then she tells him about the book that Donny had been handing over to everyone. Todd reads the first page of it and gets emotional as it refers to him. Meanwhile, Donny gets ready with some lotion and tissues to beat his meat. He finds a photo of Grandma, Miss Bureau, and decides to work with it. The following morning, Miss Bureau enters the room and sees tissues everywhere. Todd comes in there too and starts throwing the tissues in the dustbin. Then in the church, everyone gathers and meets Father McNally. He asks where Todd's father is, and Todd replies that he's dead and he deserved it. McNally gets angry at Todd for saying such things in the house of the Lord, and the two decide to fight. McNally beats Todd like a little girl, so Donny hits him in the head with a bottle to stop him. Now, everyone is pissed off with Todd for saying such things in the church, so Donny decides to cover up for him. He tells the story that after the explosion, a squirrel took his father's balls and ran around at church, so Todd freaks out a little in churches. Donny suggests that they can get married at the seashore, and the preparations begin. Jamie leaves with her friends for the party, and Phil has also planned a bachelor's party for the guys. All the men leave for the spa where they'll be enjoying their bachelor party package. But Donny is utterly disappointed when he finds out that there's no alcohol and naked girls. All the men lie down for a body massage, and Donny asks the woman to give him the full package. But turns out, the spa only offers uninteresting services. Donny tells Phil he should feel ashamed for himself for arranging this mess, and he decides to take the boys out his way. He takes them to the strip club and introduces them to Champale. All of them start enjoying naked girls and omelets. Todd gets introduced to Champale's beautiful daughter, Bree. The two spend some quality time together and all the guys are thrilled by the experience. Donny sends everyone home except Todd. He wants to do some father-son talk with him. He gives him a wedding gift, which is an earring that McGarkle gave him. However, Todd has no piercings, so Donny uses force to pierce his ear. Todd starts bleeding, but he's happy because he feels so alive. Donny says they need to get the gang back, and they go to meet Vanilla Ice. Donny apologizes for doing her mother, and Vanilla forgives him. All three go ice skating and drink beer while racing. They steal beers from a shop and run away. They visit a bowling alley and steal their pins. Finally, Donny gets a bicycle for Todd, and he tries to ride it. Soon enough, Donny teaches him how to ride a bike, and the trip returns home after a crazy day. They go to their rooms, and Donny gets ready for round 2 with Mrs. Spiro's photo. To his surprise, she comes in there in her swimming suit. The next day, Donny is making pancakes for everyone and gets a call from Todd. Todd is on his way to see Mom, so he too immediately leaves for the prison. Todd sees her mom, who is still hot, and the star of the prison. Todd apologizes for not seeing her lately, but Donny takes the phone and starts flirting with her. Out of nowhere, Morgan comes there with his crew and films the entire section. Todd finds out about Donny's deal with Morgan, so he gets angry at Donny and storms out of the place embarrassingly. Donny goes home and overhears Jamie talking to some Steve. He later calls out Jamie for cheating on Todd with her boss, but Jamie explains that she was just talking to a reporter, Steve, who wanted to publish news about their wedding. This way, Donny makes a fool of himself in front of everyone and leaves. Then, Jamie leaves with Chad to stay in a hotel, as the bride and groom cannot sleep together before the wedding day. Donny follows Jamie so he can convince her to let him stay at the wedding. He goes to her room, but he hears orgasmic noises from inside. He comes through the window and finds out that Jamie is indeed having an affair, but with her brother, Chad. Donny vomits, witnessing the incest. He also finds out that Chad is not a soldier, but a jazz dancer. He wants to tell everything to Todd, but Jamie stops him and says she'll give him $50,000. Donny takes the check and goes home to pay money to the IRS. But there, he finds a gift from Todd and decides not to trade his son for money. He gets into the car with Vanilla Ice and leaves for the wedding. Todd was almost about to marry Jamie, but Donny and Vanilla get there just in time to interrupt Todd. Donny reveals that Todd is his son, so Todd confesses in front of everyone. Chad accidentally mentions the check they gave to Donny, so Donny rips the check in front of everyone. Then he asks Jamie to confess everything, otherwise he'll show everyone the photo. Jamie ultimately confesses to Todd, and he pauses for a moment, then says, "What? You did your brother?" Everyone is shocked to hear it, but Jamie still asks Todd to marry her, as both of them are a mess. But Todd says his name is Han Solo Berger, and he won't marry her. Han then says to his boss that he quits, and Vanilla and Donny banged his mom. Donny, Vanilla, and Han happily leave from there. All of them gather at the strip club, and Han reveals that he's getting along fine with Bree, and that he's ready to give Donny $46,000. Suddenly, Todd's friend comes there and asks to turn on the TV. The fat guy wins the marathon, and Donny makes $160,000. Then, the movie ends with this craziness.